Welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam.
Yes.
Actually, we are delighted today to have with us a judge from Mobile, Baldwin County, and her name is Michelle Thomason. Met you some time ago and just am delighted to have you come and visit with us.
Thank you, Virginia.
Because we have an election coming up, and I really would like to find some things out from you. You are right now the presiding judge in Mobile.
Baldwin County.
Baldwin County,
right.
okay. Mm-hmm. And you're running for?
The Court of Civil Appeals.
Okay. Now, what made you want to run for that office? You're already a judge.
Right, right. Well, it's a little interesting because I love what I do in Baldwin County. I'm the presiding district judge there. But the day that I took office 12 years ago, I was also sworn in as a specially appointed circuit judge. I handle a lot of family court work there, and I do some other work as well. I've been contacted several times over the years by folks on this court and others asking me to consider positions on this court. But I love what I do in Baldwin County, so I politely declined. But this past year, when Judge Pittman was considering retiring, I got the call again. And this time I was asked to consider it in a little different manner. There was a little arm twisting involved, I guess.
Must have been something you cared about.
Well, it was. And in fact, the way I was approached was that I have a skill set that they believe will be beneficial on this court because of what my experience and my background is. And after a lot of thought and prayer, I realized that this is something I believe is I'm just called to do. I believe my time is right on this.
And is this a statewide race?
It is.
Okay,
it's statewide.
Yeah, that's the entire state.
It is. So which is quite a different experience
than
campaigning in Baldwin County.
You've been a busy judge,
yes,
to say the least.
Yes, very, very busy.
Well, let me ask you this. You mentioned a skill set. So you have opponents running against you.
Correct.
What makes you the best candidate?
Well, I have quite a bit of experience in exactly the type of cases that the Court of Civil Appeals hears. And I think that's one thing that sets me quite apart in this particular race. I've been on the trial bench for 12 years. I was a civil trial attorney for 12 years before that. I have 10 years of banking and finance experience and a business degree. But I think the one most important thing in this particular race is that I'm currently a sitting trial judge. I think that's really, really important in this race, and it's important because of my specific area of practice, both as a judge and as a trial attorney. My main focus was on family court, and that's real important in this race.
Are you the only person running who has experience with family court?
Yes.
See, now that would be huge for me.
Right. And one reason it's really important is a lot of folks don't realize this, but it's the majority of what the Court of Civil Appeals handles. Well, first of all, let me say a lot of folks don't know what the Court of Civil Appeals does.
Right.
So, there are 5 judges on that panel on that court, and their job is to review the rulings of all the trial judges throughout the state whenever those judges their cases are appealed, if they're civil cases. So they review those rulings and to decide whether those judges made a good decision in the courtroom. So to be a trial judge, to have the experience in making those rulings and being appealed, have that experience in applying the law, and then have the experience on the other side of the bench as a civil trial attorney for almost 12 years as well, I think is critical. But as I said, the majority of cases handled by this court are family.
Yeah.
75 to 80%.
Wow.
I don't know that most people know that. In fact, I pulled cases this morning. So, like for instance, the last 4 weeks, the Court of Civil Appeals ruled on 66 cases. 52 of those were family court cases.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So to have that experience.
It's amazing but not surprising.
Yeah. And you know, Terry Thomas is a judge on that court. She's been there for 12 years and she has juvenile experience. But there's not another judge on that court that has any experience in the area of domestic relations family court, what I've done for 24 years. And that's the reason that I've been approached by those folks, and they're supportive of me in this position because they know that's an area that this state could really benefit from.
Well, it's not just your qualifications, but we can tell it's your compassion as well.
That's where my heart is.
You were instrumental in getting the Veterans Court up and running.
I
Is
was.
that right? Now,
I was.
if you get into this new position, are you going to have to lay that aside a little bit?
You know,
or?
Jack, that was the that was the most singular, most difficult decision, part of this decision, was that I would have to leave my Veterans Court. But I'll tell you, I have a real heart for veterans, I always have. My dad was 20 years in the Navy, retired from the Navy. Maybe that was why, I don't know, but I grew up with a real passion for veterans causes. So about a little over 5 years ago, I really started to see an issue in my courtroom with veterans getting in trouble with the law when there were issues related to their service. Post-traumatic stress and things of that nature, and now opioid addiction because of medicines that the VA doctors were giving them to treat their physical injuries, those type of things. And I just didn't feel that it was fair that my only option at the time was a guilty or not guilty or putting them in jail. So I started looking for a solution, and I found one nationally with a judge in New York, and started one of the first veterans courts in our state.
Is yours just in Baldwin County right now?
It is.
It has not spread statewide yet.
It has.
Good.
I was one of the first that started, but I've been on a task force, and the mission of that task force is to put them all over the state.
If somebody wants to get more information about you, what's the procedures? Do you have a website?
I do. Judge Thomason for Alabama. .com is my website. There's a lot of information there about
Remember,
me.
that's with one S in there, and we're going to super
There we
that
go.
We're going to super that on the,
that's right.
on the screen there.
There is a lot of information there. There's information about my Veterans Court, BaldwinCountyVeteransCourt.com. I will leave that in great hands if I'm elected to this position.
Good. Well, thank you so
Amazing.
much. Best of luck, and just remember this: the election is the beginning of June. It's June 5th, the first Tuesday in June. Do your homework, be informed, but most importantly, vote. It's not just your right, it's your responsibility. And we'll be right back right after this.